You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Awkward After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Awkward After Show.
I love you. Sorry, a little Halloween theme music for our Halloween theme. Hey guys, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV. Jason, I'm talking.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, thanks. Another AfterBuzz TV after show for Awkward Season 3, Episode 6, That Girl Strikes Again. And it was a Halloween-themed episode tonight, which I loved, even though it's May.
I know.
That is a little funky, actually.
When you think about it. But, I mean, you know, they started the season at the beginning of the school year, so I guess we just have to go with them in their calendar. It's an alternate universe right
So
now.
we'll have Christmas in, what, June?
July.
In June or July. I like that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's fun.
Perfect. We'll bring out the Santa hats and Christmas carols for that episode.
We'll have a Christmas-themed AfterBuzz.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, everyone. I am your host, Tiana Hobson, and joining me tonight, I have two awesome co-hosts over here.
Hi, guys. I'm Christina Zias.
I'm Jason Eichler.
And let's talk about this episode. Let's talk about the list, because that's really what's important here in this episode. The episode starts, and it's Halloween at school. Jenna, of course, is too cool to dress up because, you know, she's just like that.
I thought she looked extra frumpy.
She did kind of look a
In
little
the,
extra.
like, I don't know what was going on.
I actually didn't love her in this episode, and it's the first time I wasn't, like, Team Jenna all the way.
Okay.
See, I didn't like her in the beginning of the episode. I liked her at the end, and I didn't like Maddie at the end.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I thought Maddie and Sadie were finally going to get together tonight, and they didn't.
Jason's still on that.
I know, one day.
One day, who knows? So, I love that Maddie was dressed as a lifeguard just because that was fun to look at.
So appropriate.
So appropriate, right? And that's one of the things that I think shows off their relationship, in that he is kind of the wild spirit, the popular boy who's going to be the shirtless macho man, where she's going to be the girl who's too cool for Halloween almost, and too sophisticated. I won't say too cool, too sophisticated. She's more adult in the relationship, which was a theme throughout this whole episode, I thought.
Well, yeah, and I think, again, you're reminded of how different they actually are, because we've been just seeing them, like, at her house, but in a school environment, she's so the dorky teenager, and he's the cool kid.
Okay, see, this is what bothers me, is that just a season ago, there's two popular boys fighting over her, and everyone was reading her blog, and everyone wanted to be her friend. So isn't she the cool kid, too? So I don't get why she's putting on this, like, oh, I'm, like, such a loner, like, I'm not that cool persona, when I feel like she is part of the cool kid crowd now.
She is, and I think that she was, and then after she unpublished her blog and the hype of the blog kind of fizzled away, she was kind of yesterday's news. But she is dating one of the most popular guys in the school, so she could own up to that status and start to empower herself, you know, to be more of a
Maddie's
popular
girl.
Yeah, Maddie's girl, like the typical jock's girlfriend.
Isn't part of her, like, image, though, like, she doesn't care what people think. So when she was crying over the list, I was kind of like, who is this girl? Like, you're not on the list, big deal. Why are you making such a fuss over it?
Right, like you won't dress up for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loves to dress up for Halloween, but you're crying over not being on the hot list.
Speaking of the Halloween costumes, guys, were you allowed to wear Halloween costumes like that to school in high school? Because there was a lot of sexy costumes going on that were...
I think people did.
I'm going to just tell you that my senior year of high school, I drove up to school in what I transformed my vehicle into the Batmobile. And I was Batman in a man's Batman costume that could not be any less sexy. And my friend was Robin, and we were blasting music from the movie. And
Please
all the
tell
teachers,
me it was the dun-dun-dun-dun
yeah,
Batman.
of course. And all the teachers were on strike, so they're all waiting outside. And my car had the Batmobile symbol on both sides with streamers of black and yellow. Okay, so like I could not have been any less sexy.
That's so good.
Is that ridiculous?
That's so funny.
That's awesome.
Also, we have to say they did this on Glee, the whole list thing.
They did have a list thing on.
Really?
So it's kind of been done awkward.
Awkward.
But let's talk about their list. Let's talk about the not list first. I wrote down everyone's who made the list. Jenna was just, and it had their costume next to it. So Jenna was herself. J Lo was She-Man. Kayla Suzuki, Dirty Hippie. Jeff Goodall, Clay. Like, how do you dress up as Clay? And how does Jenna beat you as the number one spot when you're dressed up as Clay? Sue Ellen was a tree. Greg Guznick, an 80s rock star. Jason Moore, Hugh Jess, who I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
I tried to look it up, couldn't find anything. Tiffany Griggs, a nerd. My favorite, Mary Thompson, Honey Boo Boo. And
That's awesome.
And Gia Moore was a hobo.
Also, when Sadie called Jenna, she's like, "You're the best loser I've seen all day."
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great line. Now the hot list. This is where all the sexy comes in. Maddie was the hot lifeguard. Lindy McMichael, a baby giraffe. Bobby East, sexual chocolate, which is a nickname that I've given a couple of my friends.
And we've given you.
Yeah. I'm your sexual chocolate. Danny Vick, a sexy snow cone.
These are all great ideas.
Great ideas for Halloween costumes that you're getting in May. Katie Johnson, a sexy nurse. Brittany Foreman, sexy cop. Jake and Tamara, salt and pepper, but they were clearly sugar and spice.
Avi.
Christy Swanson, a hot peacock. Scott Gold, a black raven, and Josh McCall, a hot fireman. You always got to get the firemen in there.
Yeah.
They're always going to make a hot
Fireman and
list.
lifeguard, for sure.
Yeah, those are two of the sexiest professions, just saying.
Is lifeguard like a profession?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you see Baywatch?
No,
That was
actually.
that was those people's lives. They
Yeah.
were like
Well,
lifetime
okay.
lifeguards.
Good to know.
Yeah. Catch up on it. It might be on Netflix.
Oh.
You're welcome. So after the list goes up and she starts to cry and Jake's like, "Oh, what are you crying for?" I kind of thought that the line was going to get crossed in that moment of, because a couple episodes we had that whole thing where Jake and Jenna were kind of too comfortable with each other still, like they were dating. So I'm really glad that it didn't go into that territory, but he was just being a good friend for her.
It totally could have, you're right. But he was a good friend. Val was a very good friend as well.
Oh my God.
And
She's so funny.
I love that how she confided in him, and then he obviously went and told his girlfriend because that's what everyone
Couples
does.
do. But I think Jenna has a problem, like, where she can't open up with Maddie. And I don't know. I think it's because in her head she's not the cool girl that she thinks he deserves. And so I think that's why she almost feels more comfortable around Jake, because she's afraid. I think she's still afraid Maddie's going to break up with her.
I think so too. And I think she thinks that Jake is more on her level because Jake's not, he's more of the class president type of popular as opposed to the hot jock popular. So they're more on like an even playing field. So she feels more comfortable opening up to him.
I want Jenna back with her red lipstick.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like when she was owning that, she was so great. And
A little sexier.
she was sexier, and she could totally play that. Like, why? I think she tries to take the fun out of things a little bit too much, and we see that very clearly in this episode.
Well,
up
and that's
until
why.
the end.
Yeah, that's why I kind of feel like they're not gonna last, because she's been such a downer lately. And, and he's like fun and dressing up. I don't know. I'm starting to like the character. I'm just never, like you were saying, I'm not on her side that much anymore.
It's too much of a self-pity party.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
And, yeah, it's like every party has a pooper. And right now it's Jenna. The last thing I want to talk about before we talk about the epic party that they crash, Tamara gives the tips for a happy relationship. And it's to share. It's what her and Jake do all the time. And the S is for...
What her and Jakar do.
Jakar.
What Jakar does.
So funny.
Yeah, so her tips, share, The S is for sexual chemistry, which they're in high school, so
We're 16, so that takes care of itself.
The H is for heart, because you have to keep it open. The A is for aroma. You got to keep it clean, guys. Make sure you're clean in all the right places. R, remote control, because the ladies know you don't always have to win that one, guys. It's okay to let him watch the game. E is for excitement. You got to keep each other on your toes.
I think those are actually good.
Yeah, those an actual
good tips.
Good tip from Tamara.
Tamara knows what she's talking
Yeah.
about.
She's been in a relationship for all of like a month, and she's got this down.
I also love how she's like, this list doesn't matter, it's stupid. And then she's like, oh my god, we made the hot section.
Did you guys get that they were sugar and spice?
No.
No.
I thought he was Superman with the S on his chest, but isn't that under his clothes? Or is that Spider-Man? I don't know. I don't watch comic books.
Superman is supposed to be under. I don't know.
I don't watch comic
Wait,
books.
he was the spice though, right? She was the sugar.
Yeah.
No.
No, I think
No,
she
he
was the
was the
spice.
Was he in
She was
white?
brown.
He was in
Okay.
white.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess spices are brown.
Yeah, they should have been rated number 1 on the hot list, I think. And speaking of rated number 1,
That's a beautiful transition.
thank you so much. If you guys get a second, we'd really appreciate it if you can go to iTunes and rate us, subscribe, let us know how you're feeling, leave us a comment. We would really love your feedback, so let us know what you're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Jenna at this party. Jenna and Maddie at this party, because when they first crash, it's Colin's girlfriend. Her name was Angelique Welch. When they first get there, you know, Maddie's kind of the one, still the popular guy, because him and Colin are hitting it off quite well, looking over the photography in the house. Jenna has already insulted Colin while he's wearing a giant, was that a bird head on his, it was like a crow costume, calling him a super douche.
Can we talk about before they went into the party when they're like, where are we going to go? Like through the window, through the back door. And then Sadie, I just love Sadie. She just knocks on the door and walks in.
Well, I love how they're like, Sadie, how does it feel to be your, like, our +1? She's like, you're my +4.
I'm here for one thing.
And then she just walks in through the front door.
What an amazing woman.
We should all aspire to be more like
I
Sadie.
do.
So then, you know, we meet the girlfriend, and they start playing this game called Confession. Have you guys ever played Confession?
No. Well, I've played Never Have I Ever. Is that similar?
It's kind of similar.
No. It's a little bit different.
It's more like, it's closer to Two Truths, One Lie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Truth or Dare. Spin the bottle.
Anything you play in high school, you know, typical. So they're playing this confession game, and this is when things start to take the turn in more of Jenna's favor, because Maddie does that super awkward confession. It's not something to laugh at, guys.
It's really funny.
It's not something to laugh at, but he confesses that he once felt up his grandparents' special ed paper. And everyone in the room just was like, oh, that's true. Like, not even missing a beat.
It's really not funny at all. But like, he just...
It's not funny. It's funny that everyone was so quick to just be like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because you had like 2 or 3 people go before, and all of them, everyone's like, no, that can't be true. That's false. Like, we would never think that of you. And then he goes, and it's like, oh, that's true.
What
without
did
a doubt.
the one girl say how she lost her virginity?
Oh, she said everyone thinks that me and Colin were each other's first, but there was one before him. And everyone's like, false. Even Colin was like, no way. And then she's like, no, it's true. And then the other guy confessed to having a nose job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone said false to that, too. And then Maddie goes, and that's when everyone was like...
Well, and then, did you see the teaser for tonight's episode?
Yeah.
They like showed this thing and they made it seem like everybody was gonna hate Jenna again. Mm-hmm. So I thought there was gonna be like another suicide attempt.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, it made it like she was like, I don't know. They like showed the game and then they ended on her and everybody's face was like so shocked.
Well, they were very shocked when she was like, my confession, I'm the girl who tried to kill herself. And everyone's like, false. She's like, no, it's true.
And can you imagine if you're at a party and you're playing that game and somebody's like, I tried to kill myself. You're like, I slide away from you.
I feel like that's exactly what Maddie did actually,
Yeah.
which shows that I think that he's almost a little bit embarrassed by her too.
That's what I got
right?
the feeling
Yeah.
of.
That he, you know, she's not like the cool girl to him either.
I also kind of felt that Jenna feels the way that Maddie feels in this moment all the time when they go out to all these parties at their school. So it's kind of like, Maddie, why are you being a chump right now and, you know, not really supporting her? She goes there and fakes it for you. You couldn't just put on a brave face and, like, act more involved. Like, he wouldn't go dance with her.
Well, he loved the party up until she kind of stole his spotlight.
Yeah, but at the same time,
He's
what
like
she's supposed to be like,
Jason.
oh, this is my girlfriend. She tried to kill herself. Haha. You know?
But, I mean, she told the story, and it was funny the way she was telling it. You know, she got a couple laughs about the cast and, you know, all the awkward high fives she received and everything.
And that was really funny.
Her cast, it just hit me. It reminds me of the movie Rookie of the Year. Remember when no, you guys didn't watch that? Marissa?
No, sorry.
Marissa, help me out.
I've seen that movie.
Okay,
but I
good.
don't remember
Someone see it. Well, he breaks his arm and he has to be in a cast just like that, and then his shoulder gets tight, and then he ends up pitching for the major leagues. He's like 11. Anyways, Netflix it. That's my answer
Sounds
to everything.
great.
It was. Anyways, back to Jenna and her finally fitting in. I was so happy to see that, and I thought Maddie was just being a big baby.
Me too. And did you guys, I loved Jenna's impersonation of Colin. And I love that her and Angelique hit it off because I'm sure we all see that, like, that chemistry between her and Colin.
Yep.
They both think they're too good for everyone else around. Even though Jenna, you know, claims that she is, like, the loner, not cool for anyone. I think she's a little bit pretentious in her mind.
Yeah, she definitely is.
Yeah, and that's what she thinks of Colin as well.
She sees the same thing in Colin, and it kind of irks
Well,
her.
even when she was like making fun of him for the way he writes, I'm like, that's how you blog.
Yeah,
She's like,
absolutely.
oh, I'm in the dark and nobody, you know what I mean? She's doing the same thing.
That's why they're going to end up hooking up, because she secretly has feelings for him because they're the same person. And it's like when you're in kindergarten and the little boys pick on you.
Exactly.
And your mom tells you it's because they have a crush.
or when Tiana punches you.
I was the biggest kid on the playground. Tallest kid on the playground. Let me reword that.
I want them to get together though, because then that frees Maddie up.
For Sadie. Well, I don't know. Well, then, you know, it ends with them talking in the car, Maddie and Jenna sort of having that conversation after she's talked to Angelique, and Angelique was kind of like, you know, I was actually going to say you're out of Maddie's league. You know, aren't you bored with him? He's such a stupid jock, basically, is what she was saying. And I think that kind of planted a seed in Jenna's mind that's going to start to spread, and that will be the demise of Maddie and Jenna.
100%.
Yeah.
Even when they were in the car and, you know, he was saying, she asked him what he likes about her, and he told her that, you know, it's like, you're such a great person. I feel like I'm becoming a better person every time I'm with you. And then you hear her in her mind, what she likes about him. She's like, abs, teeth, hair, abs, hair, abs. So, you know, she's like, maybe I'm just as shallow as everyone else. And it's pretty true. I guess that's what she kind of sees in
Well,
him.
and I think kind of too, because when she got the spotlight at this party, Maddie left and went to the car, and she didn't even notice till later on.
Until Jake fell into the table.
Yeah.
And they have to clean it up.
Let's actually talk about Jake now. Jake and Tamara at this party, because, I mean, it wasn't much that they were getting into, but it was still kind of fun. I'm not sure that I saw the point of Tamara getting stuck to that girl.
I think it was just like added comic relief.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think it's so funny that she is so concerned about her sweater when this
Yeah.
girl's nose ring is
She's like, that's like
stuck to
3
her.
gift cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jake ends up getting high off of that cookie.
Space cookie.
The space cookie.
So funny.
So funny. He did a great job being the high boyfriend. I loved when he was sitting, when they were off looking for him, and sitting on the floor. And he just has like random things like a hammer, a toothbrush. I don't even know what else was sitting in front of him, but he just had all these random things, and he's just like looking up like a 5-year-old kid, like, hey, how's it going? Were you looking for me?
Sweet, innocent little boy.
Yeah.
And I love how they're like, did you have a space cookie? He was like, yeah, I'm in space. Or something like that.
And when Tamara ends up counseling kind of the girl who was
Oh my God, that was so
Lisa.
funny. She's like, your mom is weird.
she got the same tattoo of your boyfriend on her. Talk about being awkward
Well, and I
choices.
think Tamara like is the most comfortable, which is weird because she used to be like the dorky girl, but I think she's the one who's the most comfortable in her own skin out of like the whole bunch.
I feel like, though, even when she was the dorky girl, she owned herself
Yeah.
all the time. She was very confident.
Yeah, she was always coming up with her own little language and stuff. And
Tamara-isms.
Tamara-isms.
Jenna needs to
DTF.
take a chapter out of her book.
She does, 100%.
Jenna just needs a confidence boost.
Even the way she stood up to Sadie last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Jenna
But
has
I think
stood
it's
up to her
because
as well.
Jenna's kind of just super pretentious, like we said. And
she doesn't realize that she's pretentious.
but she's like pretentious, but she really just wants to be a cool kid.
Right, but Tamara really wants to be a cool kid.
But she's not afraid to say it, I guess.
Right,
is the
right.
difference.
And she's not afraid to. She's not going to change herself to become a cool kid.
Yeah.
Because even when she got to join the cheerleading squad, you know, she's now on the squad and everything, but she's still the same person.
Yep.
She didn't let being a cheerleader go to her head or anything like that and dump her friends.
Right, but she was almost going to dump her boyfriend at this party if he didn't free
Well,
her.
she needed a little help, and he was not being very helpful until the end when she finally gets free, and then kaboom into the coffee table. Embarrassing. And then there's Sadie happening at this party. She's on
Favorite part of the episode.
She's on her own secret mission. Well, it wasn't a very good secret. She was on a mission to find that golden horseshoe that she feels was stolen from her because Angelique was competing in the 9/11 category.
That was my favorite, funniest moment. We've known each other since 9/11.
We've been best friends
Yeah.
ever since 9/11, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like, where's she going with this? But yeah, I mean, she thinks that she should have won that competition, so she wants to find this golden horseshoe. She gets to the house, and she's going through every room. She opens the door, and here's where we meet Austin, a.k.a. Dexter, if you want to call him Dexter. He's okay with that, too.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought she was so funny this whole time, you know, and then when her and Angelique have that confrontation outside the door, you know, it wasn't really anything. She let it be known what she was there for, and it was exciting.
Well, she was going around the party that
Yeah.
she's clearly not invited to saying, is there a personal safe? Does anyone know what a safe is? And I love how she thinks like this, what is it? The golden
horseshoe.
golden horseshoe is so valuable that it has to be in their family safe with like crown jewels. You know what I
But
mean?
it must have been pretty valuable to that girl, too, because they had it
and
locked
that
on
table.
the table.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Do we think that Austin's going to come back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Hello.
hope so. 'Cause
7 digits.
Maybe
Yeah.
that'll be how she loses it.
But what do we think is his
Deal?
his deal? Because he was hooked up to that oxygen tank, and then at the end he kind of had a little twitch going on.
I don't
When he was
watch
asking for the
Dexter,
7
so I don't know if he's that
digits.
part. That's not part of Dexter costumes.
No,
is it?
Dexter's like
I don't
he's like a
think so.
serial killer who kills other serial killers.
I don't know if I don't know. I didn't pay too close attention to like what could possibly be wrong with him. The way I saw it was that his sister is probably a snob and has like all the attention in the family, and he kind of just goes unnoticed because even Sadie was like, "Who was that guy in there?" And she's like, "Don't worry about him. You know, like pay no attention to him." So I think that it's finally
okay.
like, you know, maybe he sees something interesting, and who better to date than his sister's
Oh,
Nemesis.
This is
Yeah.
all very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved when he was talking to her about getting her number, and she's like, fine, and he immediately calls the number. He's like, that's not your number. And then she puts it in again, and she's like, are you happy? He goes, sometimes the Ritalin helps.
I kind of want her to be with somebody crazy like that.
I think she kind of liked him.
Yeah. Well, I love how she's like, you want me to pay $1 million? He's like
Bruh.
7 digits.
Yeah, that was good. So hopefully we see more of him and more of Sadie finally getting laid.
I know. I want her to. Well, I want her to be with Maddie too at some point, but she can stay with Austin for a little bit. I'll give her that.
Okay, well, let's talk about that more in predictions. First, let's talk about some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, guys, so Threadless.com has a challenge right now where they want you to create an awkward t-shirt design. So you design your shirt, submit it, people vote for it. The grand prize winner wins $2,000, a trip to LA to visit the MTV Awkward set. How cool is that? You get to hang out with all your favorite stars. Your design will also be featured in Jenna's room for an episode of Awkward. And what else? Oh, and you get a $250 Threadless.com gift card. So all our artistic people out there, get out there and design a shirt. I think Christina and Jason are going to try and tag team enter.
We're going
We
to tag
are.
team in it, and we're just going to make the most awkward faces empire.
Ever.
Oh, now everyone just has your idea.
Oh,
Well,
man.
we have it on tape, so
Like, copyright.
Yeah, we'll see you.
All right, let's talk about our predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Who wants to start?
Me.
Okay.
But you guys can go ahead first
No.
if you really want to. So I predict that Angelique and Jenna are going to become closer, are going to become very good friends. And we'll see the relationship progress throughout the episodes, which is going to probably drive Sadie crazy. And then I think Angelique and Colin are going to break up. And then it's going to cause a conflict because him and Jenna are going to get together. Her and Jenna. Him and Jenna.
Him.
Yeah.
And piggyback off of that, I think because that happens, then Sadie and Angelique are going to team up.
Against Jenna?
Yep, against Jenna.
Ooh,
because Jenna's still
interesting.
Angelique's boyfriend. And Sadie will already be dating Angelique's brother.
And in case the future episodes haven't already been aired, this is how they should go.
Yeah.
Haven't been shot.
Listen to this.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, can't you picture like a big war? Because I feel like Angelique and Sadie together will be lethal.
Dangerous, for sure.
Especially if
for
they have the
Jenna.
crazy brother who can kill people. Dexter.
I don't. Wow. To piggy off of that again, I think that, like I said earlier, Angelique kind of planted the seed and that it will backfire on her because she kind of is the one who told Jenna that she was too good for Maddie. So now she's going to come after your man, girl, so you better watch out. And I predict, I can't wait to see the homecoming dance next week with Maddie trying to teach, or with Jake trying to teach Maddie how to dance. That just looks
Jake
hilarious.
is so cute.
Yeah,
He's
I
so
love it.
cute.
And I predict that we will be seeing more of both Austin and Angelique because Austin, the guy who plays Austin, Shane Harper, he's a singer. He tweeted on Mother's Day that he was on the set of Awkward. So
Ooh.
Okay.
we will be seeing more of them. So, guys, if you want to give us your predictions and continue the conversation, you can find us all on Twitter. Where can they find you guys?
You can find me at Miss Zias on Twitter and Instagram. And check out my blog, MissZias.com.
And I am on Twitter and Instagram at Jason Eichler.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at TweetT22. You can find all of us on at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter. Send us your predictions and let us know what you think, guys. Until next week, we'll see you later.
See you later.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you
you
later.
later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
You're welcome.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria
The
Menounos.
views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.